Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a voyage shrouded in mystery and maritime intrigue. The maritime world is filled with tales of mystery and intrigue. Few stories captivate the imagination quite like that of the Mary Celeste. This infamous vessel, found adrift in the Atlantic Ocean in 1872, has become synonymous with unexplained disappearances and the eerie silence that surrounded its abandonment. The Mary Celeste has left an indelible mark on nautical history, sparking numerous theories and speculations about the fate of its crew. Before we begin, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss new stories. And also, write a comment what story you would like to hear next. The Mary Celeste had an interesting and somewhat troubled history before its mysterious abandonment in 1872. Originally launched in 1861 under the name Amazon, the vessel underwent several changes in ownership and experienced a series of unfortunate incidents. In 1867, the ship underwent significant renovations and was rechristened the Mary Celeste. The ship changed hands multiple times, with different owners facing financial challenges and incidents at sea. It was eventually purchased by Captain Benjamin Spooner Briggs in 1872, shortly before its fateful journey. Captain Briggs, an experienced and well-regarded seaman, took command of the Mary Celeste for its ill-fated voyage from New York to Genoa. One notable aspect of the Mary Celeste's background is the involvement of a figure named Captain David Morehouse. Morehouse was the previous owner of the ship, and some theories suggest that he may have had a motive for foul play. Allegations of insurance fraud were raised, implying that Morehouse deliberately abandoned the ship to collect insurance money. However, there is no concrete evidence supporting these claims, and the mystery surrounding the Mary Celeste persists. The ship's history, marked by changes in ownership, financial struggles, and previous incidents, adds an intriguing layer to the story. While it doesn't provide a clear motive for the crew's abandonment, it does contribute to the overall mystique of the Mary Celeste and the enigmatic circumstances that surround it. The discovery of the Mary Celeste by the crew of the British ship Dei Gratia is a pivotal moment in the mysterious tale. On December 4th, 1872, the Dei Gratia, commanded by Captain David Reed Morehouse, spotted the Mary Celeste adrift in the Atlantic Ocean. At first, the crew of the Dei Gratia observed the peculiar sight of the seemingly abandoned vessel, sailing erratically and appearing out of control. Upon closer inspection, the crew of the Dei Gratia realized that the Mary Celeste was in a state of abandonment. There was no sign of the crew on board, and the ship appeared to be deserted. The sails were set haphazardly, and the ship showed signs of wear and tear, with a torn and partially unfurled sail adding to the eerie scene. Captain Morehouse, recognizing the Mary Celeste, decided to send a boarding party to investigate the abandoned vessel. As the crew of the Dei Gratia boarded the Mary Celeste, they found the ship in surprisingly good condition. The cargo of denatured alcohol was largely intact, ruling out the possibility of an explosion or fire caused by the highly flammable cargo. The crew of the Dei Gratia made a thorough examination of the Mary Celeste, finding that the ship was seaworthy and structurally sound. However, there were notable absences, such as the lifeboat and the ship's navigational instruments. The personal belongings of the crew, including valuables and clothing, were left undisturbed, adding to the perplexity of the situation. The discovery of the Mary Celeste set off a chain of events that would lead to extensive investigations, inquiries, and a multitude of theories attempting to unravel the mystery behind the crew's sudden and unexplained abandonment of the ship. The lack of clear evidence of foul play or a definitive reason for the abandonment has made the discovery of the Mary Celeste one of the most enduring maritime enigmas in history. The conditions on the Mary Celeste, when it was discovered adrift by the crew of the Dei Gratia in 1872, added a layer of perplexity to an already mysterious situation. When the boarding party from the Dei Gratia stepped onto the Mary Celeste, they encountered a vessel that was both seaworthy and seemingly intact, yet abandoned by its crew. Despite being adrift for some time, the Mary Celeste exhibited sound structural integrity. The ship's hull was in good condition, and there were no signs of damage or significant wear and tear that could explain its abandonment. The Mary Celeste was carrying a cargo of denatured alcohol in barrels. Strikingly, the cargo was mostly undisturbed, and there were no signs of leakage or damage to the barrels. Given the flammable nature of the alcohol, the fact that it remained intact ruled out the possibility of an explosion or fire caused by the cargo. The personal belongings of the crew, including clothing, valuables, and other items, were found undisturbed in the cabins. This raised questions about the nature of the abandonment, as a sudden and violent event would typically result in some degree of chaos or disorder. Notably absent from the Mary Celeste were the ship's log, the chronometer, and the lifeboat. The ship's log and chronometer were crucial navigational instruments, and their absence added to the mystery. The lifeboat, usually stored on the main deck, was also missing, prompting speculation about whether the crew had abandoned ship intentionally or under duress. The ship's sails were found set in a manner that suggested an attempt to navigate, albeit in a disorderly fashion. One of the sails was torn and partially unfurled, contributing to the overall impression of a vessel in distress. The ship's galley and provisions were reportedly in order. There were no signs of a struggle or disturbance in the areas where the crew would typically gather, eat, and prepare meals. Peculiar combination of a well-maintained ship, undisturbed cargo, and the absence of clear signs of struggle or foul play has fueled numerous theories about why the crew of the Mary Celeste abandoned ship. The mystery persists, and the conditions on the Mary Celeste remain a central aspect of the enigma that continues to captivate historians and maritime enthusiasts alike. The abandonment of the Mary Celeste has spawned a multitude of speculations and theories over the years, as investigators and enthusiasts have sought to unravel the mystery behind the crew's disappearance. While no single theory provides a definitive explanation, several hypotheses have been proposed to account for the peculiar circumstances surrounding the Mary Celeste. One theory suggests that pirates may have attacked the Mary Celeste, prompting the crew to abandon ship. However, there was no evidence of a struggle or signs of violence on board, and valuable items belonging to the crew were left undisturbed, challenging the piracy hypothesis. Some have proposed the idea of a mutiny among the crew, with discontent or disputes leading to a takeover of the ship. Yet, there was no evidence of mutiny found on the Mary Celeste, and the personal belongings of the crew remained untouched. The possibility of a natural disaster, such as a waterspout or underwater tremor, has been suggested. Proponents of this theory argue that the crew may have panicked and abandoned the ship, fearing impending danger. However, there is a lack of concrete evidence supporting the occurrence of such a natural disaster in the area. One of the more plausible theories proposes that fumes from the denatured alcohol cargo led the crew to believe there was an imminent explosion, prompting them to abandon ship prematurely. This theory suggests that a minor leak in the barrels released alcohol vapors, creating a potentially dangerous atmosphere. Another speculative theory involves the possibility of insurance fraud. Some have suggested that the previous owner, Captain David Morehouse, deliberately orchestrated the abandonment to claim insurance money. However, this theory lacks strong supporting evidence and has been widely debated. It's also been proposed that adverse weather conditions, such as a sudden and severe storm, may have prompted the crew to abandon ship temporarily. However, the crew's failure to return or leave any communication remains unexplained. More unconventional theories involve supernatural explanations or even alien abduction. These ideas, while intriguing to some, lack any scientific basis and are generally considered highly speculative. Despite the numerous speculations, the true cause of the Mary Celeste's abandonment remains elusive. The lack of conclusive evidence has allowed these theories to persist, contributing to the enduring mystique of one of the most famous maritime enigmas in history. The Mary Celeste continues to be a subject of fascination and speculation, captivating the imaginations of those intrigued by the unexplained. The Mary Celeste remains an enigma that has perplexed historians, maritime experts, and enthusiasts for over a century. Despite various investigations and speculative theories, the true reason behind the crew's abandonment of the ship remains elusive. The mystery of the Mary Celeste continues to capture the imagination of those fascinated by the unexplained, ensuring its place as one of the most enduring maritime puzzles in history. Thank you for watching the video. If you have questions, write them in the comments. And also check out our channel, we have some more interesting videos.